WICR presents This Moment in History.
Today I say as long as this...
All right, and I am back now, and for the NBA, I have two very special guests on the show today. I am joined by Ben Zeno the Hero and Rob Jiggity. What's up, fellas?
Shaq's daddy. I appreciate you having me on the show. Very what's that word? Hospitality? Hospitable. For the Shaq's daddy to have me on the show today.
It's nice to be here.
Shout out to Shaq's daddy and the Shaq's daddy hour. What is the show called?
This show originally started out as sports talk.
Okay.
When I did it with Jack Clark, but then Jack couldn't do it anymore. So then I kind of didn't have anybody to do it with, and then I got Ken Reichman.
Oh, Kenny.
Kenny the man. I love him. And so then we started to do the show together. But Ken is at the women's basketball game announcing for IC Gales. So that means that I am flying solo today. On Sports on the Fly, we changed the name to last week.
Okay.
Because we do this show on the fly.
On the fly.
So
we didn't know we were going to be on the show, right, Rob?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys being on the show or on the fly?
On the fly.
On the fly.
Pickup game.
So that's, that is what Sports on the Fly is. We are doing this on the fly.
On the fly. We're some ringers.
Yeah. So, I brought you guys on as my NBA correspondents.
Ooh, I like that word.
That's a nice
word. We're not special. We're correspondents. I like that. Very professional.
So, what is on your guys' minds with the NBA right now?
With the NBA, I'm going to tell the world I am a Knicks fan. So I'm thinking about tonight against the Utah Jazz so the Knicks do not get the 7th loss in a row. That's my main prerogative for tonight. The Knicks got to get this win because last game, they could have had that win easily, Rob.
They should have had the win easily, but they screwed up too many times.
Oh, my. The third quarter's been dubious, as Walt Clyde Frazier would say.
Yeah.
Because it's the demise of the whole game. Because once the fourth quarter comes, they got to play catch-up ball. Down by 2 with 20 seconds, so you got to intentionally foul. Wait till somebody miss, so then J.R. Smith puts up a brick and forgets about Melo. So stuff like that, it irks me as a Knicks fan. But tonight, I believe, I called a guaranteed win last time the Knicks played, and I was wrong by 2 points. So I'm going to call the win against the Jazz. Because Gordon Hayward, he got that money for a reason. He's been having a good year so far. So I want to see how Melo does against him, if Melo is put on him.
Another thing I want to bring up in NBA, the emergence of DeMarcus Cousins and the Kings.
Boogie?
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins really emerged as a leader for that team.
Shaqs, did you see the game with but the Kings did play last night. Kings played the Grizzlies. And that was a heck of a game.
The Grizzlies, who are on a tear. That's who I wanted to talk about. The Grizzlies 8-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Best record in the NBA. I didn't see this coming.
Not at all.
I thought they'd be pretty good. I thought they were going to be just like last year, hovering around, the 8th seed and then sneaking into the playoffs at the end of the year. But watch out for the Grizzlies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they are a serious team.
Vince Carter is that bench player. Shout out to Armand. We got to mention Vince Carter because we're talking about the Grizzlies. And Armand, WICR e-board member, very huge Vince Carter fanatic. But the play of Mike Conley. This is a point guard league. Mike Conley gets slept on because you see players like Russell Westbrook, CP3, Tony Parker. Mike Conley can't step up and play ball with these elite point guards and run a team.
And another thing is, they call it the grindhouse for a reason.
Ooh.
They grind for 4 quarters. They play as a team. And they're ready to take on anybody because of their defense. And their offense is not bad either.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, this team is very similar to the Memphis teams back when Lionel Hollins was there.
Yeah.
And really, they have not changed their MO, their culture at all. It's very much still the same, a defensive-minded team. And you know what? Defense wins championships.
Yes.
I know it's a cliche, but it's true. And that Memphis is showing that you play defense and you're going to be successful. Right now, they are giving up 91.7 points per game. That is the best across the league. which is why they have the best record in the league.
The thing is, the thing I put over the Lionel Hollins Grizzlies teams is that they don't have a guy that's going to put up 40 shots like Rudy Gay used to. They have the team. They play for the team rather than one guy that will go out there like OJ Mayo, Rudy Gay that will just put up a lot of shots.
They spread the wealth.
They spread the wealth, yeah.
And that's exactly the beauty of the Grizzlies, because they play defense well and they spread the wealth. And that is exactly what you have to do to be successful in basketball. And, right now they're living proof of that. Nobody else is 8-1.
Nope.
Closest we have is Houston at 7-1. And, they also play defense. They get after it on the defensive end as well. It looks like second in the league in points given up at 92.1, and they have the best point differential at 11 points per game. They are outscoring their opponents. So, Houston has that offense and they have the defense, and they've been impressive so far as well.
I'm surprised with that defensive stat, because when you said defense and James Harden, don't James Harden play for the Rockets? Yeah. Last year, James Harden had a 15-minute clip, about a 12 to 15-minute clip of him not playing defense at all.
And the thing is, it was a montage. It was like all plays where he got beat off the dribble. Then it was all plays where he got beat in the post. Then all plays where backdoor cuts happened because of him.
So that's a surprising stat that stood out to me about the defense. But when you said defense, Terrence Jones has been playing well this year. 4th year out of Kentucky, I believe. 4th year out of Kentucky, and this guy's he's 6'10", but he's not built like a power forward. He's built like a 3 guard. So him being at the 4 playing alongside Dwight Howard, that's a good sign to see.
Help spread the floor for Dwight Howard, and you bring over good defenders like Ariza.
Yep.
You got Ariza, Dwight Howard. You got a good perimeter defender, and you got that interior defender that could lock down the paint.
James Harden doesn't have to guard the best player. That's Trevor Ariza's job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big pickup that didn't get a lot of attention at all. But I'm a big fan of Ariza. He is that gritty defensive player that will come into the game, lock down on the opponent's best player, and that's what you need. He's not going to put up 20 points a game and 7 assists. He's going to maybe give you 10 points and just shut down the opponent's best player for a little while.
And also he might get a couple rebounds. He might get a couple steals. He might block a shot or two.
Exactly. He does what you need to get done. And that's why I think he is an undervalued player, but very important.
I have a question. His game, what he means to the Rockets, what Andre Iguodala means to the Warriors. But would you rather have Iguodala on your team right now or Trevor Ariza? Because Iguodala signed this big contract and he's coming off the bench. They got Harrison Barnes starting over Iguodala now. Now Iguodala being a veteran, he's like, yeah guys, we have a legitimate shot to make a title run. I'll come off the bench. But him and Ariza, they play the same type of game. They're the Swiss Army knives of teams. So just a question to put out there: who would you rather have, Andre Iguodala or Trevor Ariza?
You want to start at Sax or me?
Yeah, I'll let you go, Jiggity.
All right. When it comes to offense, you got to give the advantage to Iguodala because he's not just a 3-point shooter. He might go out there, give you a couple of dunks, give you 5-6 assists. So I'd rather have Iguodala because I'd say they're probably even on defense. Maybe a little bit of an edge to Ariza, I think. But Iguodala's offense makes up for that because he also... they're both good defenders, but Iguodala's offense is better. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you there, Jiggity. I think that if you need some extra offensive firepower and a good defensive player, you go with Iguodala. But I think if I was trying to just get a defensive lockdown player, I would go with Ariza because Iguodala, yes, he's a great defender, but he'll also look for his shot on offense. Whereas I feel like Ariza is more of the sitting in the back. I'll take care of the defense. I'll let other players control the offense. So I think that I would actually take Ariza there.
Ooh. Well, are you saying this because Ariza did play a fullback seat when the Lakers won titles? So even though when Kobe trusted Ariza at times with the ball, so when Kobe gave him the ball, Ariza knew what to do?
I think I am thinking about the Ariza's tenure in Los Angeles and looking at it and thinking, he had kind of more of a backup role there. Mm-hmm. Whereas around the same time, Iguodala was in Philly where he was the guy.
He was the man.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'm keeping them in their situations there and saying Ariza's the backup guy who, comes in off the bench, does the nitty-gritty for Kobe.
Yeah.
And Iguodala's the go-to guy, and, when you're creating a system like Golden State, he's not the go-to guy.
Yeah.
You've got Steph Curry, you've got Klay Thompson. So I think that's why I'm kind of going with Ariza.
Okay. Well, only time you mentioned Trevor Ariza was a former Knick. He played about 23 games. Don't quote me on the 23 games, but he played about that time frame because Larry Brown did him dirty. Larry Brown was the coach of the Knicks at that time. He said, "Nah, Ariza, I really don't like your play." Shipped him off to Orlando.
And the thing I'd give Ariza over Iguodala, he's a consistent three-point shooter all the time. He would spread the floor for your team. So in their roles, they both fit their teams perfectly.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Ariza is going to be out there spreading the floor for Dwight Howard to get his post moves, for James Harden to get his dribble moves going, to get his to move the ball better. And then Iguodala's going to come out there off the bench, pass the ball to the shooters, get his baskets, run the break. So they both fit their roles perfectly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. You said it perfectly there that in their systems, both of them fit perfectly. And, really that's what matters more than who would you rather take just straight up like this. It depends on the situation. It depends on who you need, what kind of player you need, and who the other players are on your team. So Jiggity right there, hitting the nail on the head.
Jiggity.
Fellas, we will take a quick break, and you guys are more than welcome to stick around with me for the second half of the show.
I think we got to take this opportunity. This is Sax Daddy. This is Sports on the Fly.
It is. We're doing it on the fly.
We're doing it on the fly. So stay tuned to Sports on the Fly with Ian Sachs.
Iona College's highly accredited graduate programs empower students to earn degrees that command respect in the real world.